What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, I will be reviewing Put a Ring on It. This is season 3, I believe it's episode 5. Before we get started, for those who are new to my channel, I do recaps of reality shows. Do a very detailed review. Might not pick every single scene, but I do get the most important parts, and I may cover other details that you may have not picked up. And as I told you, I am the number one comment on YouTube. So for this channel, all I look for is the comments. I don't say please like, subscribe, none of that stuff. If you rocking with your boy J Dub, you're gonna do that anyway. But I need those comments. I mean it. It's what I do it for. And the motto of this channel is say what you say. So you feel like talking about you talk about anything you want. You want to talk about why Alfonso don't wear undershirt under his polo shirts and have a sweat line under his man breast. You can say that. If you want to talk about why Shorty is 4'2", it's okay to say. All I ask is that when you make those comments, we respect each other. Why? Because we have our community over here. It's called the Dub Fam. And we just got to respect each other, treat each other right. But we talk about shows. You know, there's people in shows, but hey, they put themselves out front, and we get to say what we want to say. So get in those comments. Make a long one, make a short one. Say hello, talk to each other. Whatever y'all do, get in the comments. Because, I mean, even just to read the comments, you should want to make a comment because it's so much going on down in the comments. Y'all think I got a little bit of humor with me? People in the comments put it down with the humor. So let's go ahead and get right into it. It seems like it's an ongoing theme with Put a Ring on It. Like they always want to continue on to the next episode, like an episode like never ends. So pretty much this one we picked up on Shay and Alfonso's date, where Shay pretty much picked a fight with Alfonso's date, but she doesn't see it that way. And I'll say, I know this is the great Dr. Nicole process, but this is the part of the process I really question. Because I'm going to say people who are just maybe doing pretty good in their relationship, they don't want to be in a room with their significant other while they're on a date too. I mean, that's going to make most people naturally jealous. So I really don't see that. I mean, if it's a testing of your emotions, apparently if they're on the show, obviously they have some flaws or weaknesses in their relationship. So I just don't think this is a good thing. And it doesn't help that Shay is pretty much delusional because, I mean, she sees no fault in what she was doing or in the way she's behaving. She thinks it's everybody else's fault of why she did that. Because Shay actually was talking to Alfonso's date first, like kind of antagonized, like, oh, what you say? Or, when the girl wasn't talking to her, she was just looking to like get something going and start it. And I'm really starting to believe Alfonso where he's saying that Shay is pretty much a jealous woman. And of course, we know Alfonso has a hand in those insecurities, but I'm really starting to see it. It's showing up big time. So, it's more so like Shay can't address the issues that she needs to. Like she's just fighting for just to stay in the position that she's at with Alfonso. And pretty much Shay was acting like she was going outside or whatever. She was done with the date. But then she approached Alfonso's date and she's about to get bust upside the head with a hibachi plate. And, I don't know if Shay thought this was TV, but I could really tell that girl was about to hit him. Because her date stepped in, Alfonso's date stepped in, and luckily nobody got hurt. But so after that, Shay and Alfonso just left, and she going out the door. She's still blaming Alfonso, like you needed to control her or whatever, and not taking any kind of, I guess, responsibility for it. So they rolled out, and then we go on to Shorty Mac. We had Shorty Mac in Kenneth's residence, and we got Kenneth. He's looking all depressed and down and pitiful and all that. And, certain things I point out. Have y'all noticed how much Mr. You Heard Me, like he squint his eyes and he poke his lips like, I don't know if that's a New Orleans thing or he think he cool or it's for the camera. I don't know. It's just weird. He do it constantly. Eyes low, pout his lips or something. It's just kind of weird to me. So Shorty Mac is going on she's going on a date, and her date's coming to pick her up. And when he gets there, Kenneth actually physically checks him. When I say check him, like frisk him, pat him down, and all that. And I'm like, I know this is a show, and they're supposed to be prepared for certain things, but as a man, I ain't let no man pat me down for no reason because he worried I got weapons or something like that. Unless he works security, he have a security flashback. That's on him. You ain't gonna pat me down, even if I'm coming to your house. If not, I can step out and Shorty can come on out. But anyway, Shorty date, he takes her to like a little bar/lounge, and it's like a nice little setup because they got the bar going and they also got the couches they can lounge on. It looks, like I said, it looks nice, but that setup wouldn't work for me. I don't like sitting on, I guess, people's fabrics, out in the public, and just, everybody sitting down on it. Fabric collects smells, liquids, and all that stuff. I don't like that. And it was not facing the door. Anytime I go in a place, I gotta be able to see the door. I can't sit something behind that. That's one of my triggers or PTSD. I don't know, but Kenneth also has a date as well. His date what's her name? Santrell, and she's from Oakland. And she pretty much describes herself as being like a flirt, and she doesn't have to do much. She can be herself and just talk. And the guy will just fall for her just like that. And when I heard that, it made me think that she like really knows the assignment. Like this is like really a game. She's not there to, I guess, find love or not, because really, how could you when somebody is still entangled in a relationship? And I guess off of one date, you're supposed to change their mind and they're supposed to go with you and hop right into the next relationship. So if it can happen, but the chances are not likely. So I was looking at Shorty and her date. I mean, to me, it was like the most awkwardest date I ever seen. Shorty's saying she having a great time and all of that, but like her date is making all these like corny jokes, and I mean, he's laughing hysterically when there's nothing in play. And at one point, he even suggested, I'm going to say he almost insisted that Shorty cut her cheeseburger in half. But like, you're going to eat that? Like, because the cheeseburger was big as Shorty's head. But still, if that's her cheeseburger, she want to pick it up and eat it like that. I see nothing wrong with that. But Kenneth and his date walked in, and her and Shorty almost got into like, I'm gonna call it a staring match. Like they kept just looking at each other, and I'm thinking like, why is things so uncomfortable? Because like everybody knew that they were gonna be there or meet in the same place, and it just got like really weird. I thought Shorty knew the girl or something like that, but they just staring back at each other like, what's going on. I thought it was kind of odd. So Kenneth and his date, they pretty much vibing, but I would say it's more like a friendly vibe. Somebody of the opposite sex you could really talk to and share your feelings, because Santrell actually recently got out of a relationship as well, so I can't really see her being that invested in this process, because she even let Kenneth know that was the situation. And like I said, let the games begin. Santrell kind of turned up the flirting with Kenneth and letting him know like, well, pretty much, you need to be interested in what's over here or whatever, And Kenneth like, oh yeah, she's spitting game to the man and telling him he like the total package and all that. I see it as a game, but I'm sure like Kenneth told the great Doc Nicole that pretty much when he sits down with a woman in a confined space, they automatically fall in love. So he's the charmer. So as far as like Shorty and Kenneth's date, their dates were really trying to make them more comfortable, because they could tell both of them were really nervous or had some anxiety about being in the same room with being on a date. And I would say once Shorty and her date left, because I guess she was uncomfortable, Kenneth's date let him know like, are you, why are you here? Are you really happy? And this is maybe something that you should be thinking about, like, I guess, making a move. And Kenneth pretty much mentioned that he may be holding on to something that may not even be there. And I think he's right, because the way Shorty talks and treats him, it's something that, she doesn't respect him, or she doesn't see him that way. So I don't know how marriage is really on the table. So the next scene we go into with Shay, she's getting a much needed visit from the great Dr. Nicole by herself because Dr. Nicole wants to talk to Shay about what happened, I guess, during that melee at the hibachi restaurant. And Shay pretty much told him, like, hey, when Alfonso didn't acknowledge me when he came in the room, that kind of triggered her. And it's no different, or how it usually go. The great Dr. Nicole gave Shay some great advice. And she was pretty much telling them, like, Shay, when you are reacting in such a negative way, you're not giving Alfonso a chance to fill in those blanks, like why you're here on this game show. It ain't a game show, but this show of why you're here and do you really need to move on, because you're creating a distraction. And even if his, I guess, filling in the blanks don't give you the answer you want, you'll know where he's at. But if you acting up and you want to fight the girl and all that, we can never get there. And the great Dr. Cole just kept like digging deeper and just kind of breaking it down. And like I said, immediately Shay got the point Dr. Cole was trying to make. And something else we like actually learned, Shay and Alfonso are actually married. They got married in Vegas. However, in a sense, you have to, I guess, get maybe an official or somebody to sign off on the paperwork to make it legal in Las Vegas. So they don't have that. So they're not legally married, but they went through the whole process. I guess they did a little, what do you call it? And they eloped. And I guess that still kind of makes it kind of strange because Shay has been dying to meet her mother-in-law. She never can, and she feels like he's hiding. He's giving money to women. He's got women on the internet talking about he's the love of their life and all that kind of stuff. So I can't imagine that she went through with it, but they did have an engagement party, but we didn't know, or it wasn't out there initially, that they actually went to get married. And Shay pretty much said like the marriage kind of, the situation kind of dissolved because the woman was posting about like Alfonso being the love of his life, and she actually left for like 2 months. And she said that she came back, and pretty much Dr. Nicole broke it down and said, like, you came back and you didn't negotiate any different terms. You just came back. And Shay is pretty much saying, yeah, that is the case. And that's and they kind of got down to the root that Shay is like almost resenting Alfonso for going right back into the same situation, and that also she hasn't told him that this is absolutely the last time that she's going to stay. If he doesn't do right, this is it. And she really much has her answers. She's just afraid, I guess, to be done with Alfonso, but she hasn't told him that information, but she has that balled up rage and resentment for him. So, you know, we find out like why Shay is so angry and so triggered. But because as I said in my last review, I missed the last one. I said Shay is very, very aware of what the situation is. You can hear when she speaks; she's very articulate. She totally gets the concept of what's going on, but what is she doing about it? She's not, I guess, exercising her choice. So they go to the fellas meet up. They meeting up at a pool hall, and right off the break, just talking. We know Kenneth drinking mixed drinks, beers. He tossing them back. That's what he do. You got to pick up on that. That ain't hard to see. But Alfonso really talked to Kenneth and want to give him some real advice, because it did come up on the last episode, which I didn't review, that Shorty saying that Kenneth is not established or is contributing financially to the relationship as he should be. And yeah, I can't imagine like how that looks, especially now we found out that Kenneth also has like a 7-year-old daughter. And if he's having trouble with his finances, you know, how does that play a part in his finances as well? I mean, it's something to be said. But pretty much Alfonso told him, like, you really have to work on getting yourself straight financially so those type of problems won't come up in your relationship about, you know, financial shortfalls. And Kenneth, like, yeah, he was willing to receive it, like, yeah, get it from the OG, but he totally took it the wrong way. Kenneth was more so telling him, yeah, sometimes you got to step back and love yourself and all that. No, you got to step back and get a career, make some money, so your woman won't be talking about you ain't getting no money and you don't have no stability. That's what you need to do, not step back and love yourself. He didn't say that, but Kenneth's a different kind of guy. So pretty much that was it. We all, other than that, Otis was like eating chicken wings like it wasn't no food at the house. But the couples all meet up. They meet up with the great Doc Nicole, to go over like the dates that they went on, because really this is a continuation from the last episode. They never got there. So Kenneth, he was pretty much saying that he's not really attracted to the dates that he's been offered. And I thought all his dates were attractive, but I guess he's not attracted to any of them. And Shorty pretty much put him way out there and saying that, like, she was just trying to bottom line the situation. She's like, look, Kenneth is attracted to women who are way out of her league, and she included herself too, and pretty much saying, Dr. Nicole wanted to say, like, well, like, what does that look like, or what are you saying? Why are you saying that? She was saying, like, pretty much when she met Kenneth, he presented himself in a false way, and pretty much after that, she was already in love until she found out what he lacks. I mean, she went down a list. I mean, she destroyed this man. She destroyed him so much. How Kenneth always got to have her wrapped up and all that. When she started talking that what he lacking, he took his arm back and everything. Then started doing rubbing his hands like Birdman or whatever. I don't know. You heard me. I don't know what he be doing. He on something else. But let me read this. I gotta read this. Look down and straight. Shorty said Kenneth lacks the ability to be financially stable. He doesn't have the maturity. He's not honest. He's not able to lead. I mean, like, wasn't nothing left for that man. When Shorty finished chopping down Kenneth, he was her height. He's about 4'2". And I mean, he got the blinking and, them lips going. And he was hurt. I was hurt for him. Like, that all may have well been true. However, I don't believe you should do that in front of everybody. Like, you can see he was totally hurt. And this is not a good guy to me. Anytime, he's snatching the phones and taking him in the bathroom and, taking financial information and blowing up your spot at your job. But they choosing to be in this. But he was, like, hurt. Even Dr. Nicole could see, like, wow, like, this subject is probably best we take another space to do this, because this ain't it in front of all this. Because, I mean, you just destroyed this man. You emasculated this man. So let's move on to the next one if we can. She destroyed that man. So we go to Mr. Otis and Charlie, and they're discussing their dates. They went to the yoga class. It was almost a double date, if you ask me. And Otis seemed like really tight-lipped about his date with Milan. And immediately, Charlie pretty much calls Otis out and saying, like, it's really a double standard with her. Like, he wants her to share everything she's got going on with her dates. When it comes to him, he ain't really got much to say. He don't feel like it is it's really necessary for him to talk about it. And Charlie pretty much pointed out things that she could see. Like, she knew that he was trying to impress Milan. He was wearing his thick gold chain. He was wearing perfume. He was wearing cologne. And Otis was like, well, I wear cologne every day or whatever. But she could tell that Otis was in impress mode. And I would say also something pointed, we really got to see the other side of Charlie. We always looking at her like, oh, Charlie's such a victim, or she's really going through with Otis. But I'm going to say this. So, again, Dr. Nicole, she does what she does. She going to break it down so good, spoon feed it to you, make sure you understand it, and give you the tools you need to succeed with them. Because they were more so talking about dealing with, like, transparency and trust and having a safe place. And the great Dr. Nicole spoke with Charlie and saying like, you feel like you should have a safe space to speak about anything in a relationship, and she asked Otis the same thing, and they both agreed. And she pretty much said like, y'all both of y'all want those things. You know how you do that? You're supposed to be that. You want a safe space? Make it a safe space for each other, so the person can come and talk to you about anything. And I was like, the great Dr. Nicole does it again. I'm not surprised. I'm telling you that's the lady. That's ain't nobody touching her right now on that therapy side. She always hits the nail on the head, and she kind of got away from I guess the deep riddles that people complain about, but she gets the job done, and they both see it, but are they gonna actually put it in place? I really doubt it. And I guess it hit so hard with Mr. Otis, he took it literally. He was like, well, I want to practice my transparency, and I'm gonna do it right now. He tells Dr. Nicole, the great Dr. Nicole, that he has been DMing Milan, and Charlie, you can feel it heat come off the TV. Charlie was pissed. I mean, she was pissed because she just couldn't believe that. She couldn't believe that Otis was talking to Milan when they just had a conversation that texting different people, I guess of the opposite sex, would not be allowed in a relationship. And, Otis like, well, I don't consider that texting or whatever. And like, it's just making it worse. And Charlie's getting mad. She's pointing her finger. And like, to me, she's turned into the female Otis. She's just like, she's so upset. She's just, Charlie pretty much said, well, that's fine. How they get that passive aggressive tone. And, I'm going to have a conversation with, Charlie, like through DMs, and Dr. Nicole, like, why are you going to do that? What's the purpose? She's like, just to say hello, but now Charlie just like, look, she's talking to my man. That ain't okay. I mean, Charlie ain't got to do with that. Otis is the one reaching out or talking with Milan, but Charlie got something to say to Milan. And Charlie pretty much put it out there that Otis has been like downplaying Milan, saying like, oh, she's a little young looking girl or whatever. She in the street like that. She doing the DJ thing and all that. And apparently it was, it's something more there. And like I said, you can see Charlie gets so mad when Dr. Nicole was talking to Otis. Charlie was answering the questions. I'm like, you won't even let the great Dr. Nicole work. I mean, she was so mad, she just couldn't believe it. And Dr. Nicole pretty much pointed out. I mean, she captured it. Again, the great Dr. Nicole gonna do what she do. She's like, Otis, like, now when you come to this moment, you're being transparent, almost like you look like you're in trouble, you kind of shrink. You got to be that same Otis, or be in it, or be available. It's like he checking out or spacing out because he a little kid. He did something wrong, and Dr. Nicole is calling for him to be there. Especially, he put it out there he didn't have to do that, but maybe he knew it was going to come out anyway. So, the great Dr. Nicole asked Charlie pretty much what happened with her day. Charlie like, I don't even know if I can continue. This is crazy. Like, in real life, we done for real. Ain't nothing to talk about. And the great Dr. Cole trying to calm her down. It's like, well, I understand you're upset and everything and all that, but don't allow what Otis did to take away from your process of, I guess, finding out if he's the one or you're going to move on with somebody else. I mean, Charlie was just trying to get it over with. I mean, maybe they require her to answer, and she was just like, well, we talked and on a date and we got to know each other, but whatever. Just to get off it. And so the great Dr. Cole really saw it's like a lost cause. They need to move on from right now. So she tried to go ahead and go to Shay and Alfonso's date, but you look right over there. Charlie got her finger in Otis' face. Like, did you talk to that girl? Did you talk to her? Otis like he looked like Mark the Shark on it. He's stuck. And as I tell you, it looks like Charlie and Otis are one and the same. They get that passive aggressive thing. They get super angry. They might not be yelling, but they got like a toxic circle going on. You can see that they're no good for each other. They don't belong together. And Charlie was pretty much throwing a tantrum. She was like, well, look, I'm done with this. Give me the key so we can go. And he like, no. She's like, don't tell me no. I was like, oh my goodness. They need to get it done. So we didn't even get to see I didn't get a chance to see Alfonso laugh in Shay's face about for the 50th time about her insecurity. So they cut it right there. And from there, the episode's going to get more and more explosive and revealing. So again, this is not the same formula that we grew to love. It seems like it's going in a love and hip hop-ish way. But, I'm here for it. I'm going to see it through, and I'm not going to take it so serious. So, like I said, I've been trying to make sure I get these videos out because, hey, I'm on my real estate journey. I want to get them out, a little behind, but I'm going to keep cranking them out as much as I can. And get down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Something I miss. Let's do it. And as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. And I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.